What's up, everybody? It's Wakeangel2001 delving back into my Reddit thread r/Wakeangel2001, which has just passed 69 members. Nice. So let's take a look at the first post, which is another poll. Which is the better Sonic comic? I'll go first. IDW. So he has the Archie, IDW, and Fleetway comic, and I know there's going to be a lot of pedantic people out there that says that there's more than just these three, but these are the three most important. Now, I personally don't know much about the Fleetway comic, but I gotta say, this was a pretty hard choice. So, as you can see by the checkmark, I voted IDW, but let me explain my reasoning. I collected the Archie comic for over 20 years, almost its entire run. But I still voted for the IDW comic as my favorite of right now, because, well, let's say this. The Archie comic, I was with it for over 2 decades. I saw it through its highs and its lows. And boy, did it have some lows. It passed through a lot of hands. It spent the first several years not even knowing what it was supposed to be. And they made some very questionable decisions in the late 90s, both artistic and storyline-wise. Overall, I still think that it was a really great comic, especially in its last decade. It got really good towards the end. It's a shame that it basically ended while it was basically at the peak of its quality. But the IDW comic is pretty much done by the same artistic and writing team that did the Archie comic in the best part of the Archie comic. Like, it's the same team. So, like, the people who did the best parts of the Archie comic are working on the IDW comic, so, that's the best quality. Also, the IDW comic has a much more consistent tone. Keep in mind, as of the time of this recording, the IDW comic is 45 issues in. It took almost 30 issues for the Archie comic just to establish what it wanted to be. At first, they weren't sure, is it an adaptation of the Adventures cartoon, the Saturday morning cartoon, the games, some mishmash of everything? How do you make those elements blend? It took quite a while for everything to kind of work out. And then they came up with an art style that actually supported it. Ultimately, they chose to make it more of a Saturday morning adaptation, with a little bit of stuff from the games and just some cameos from the Adventures cartoon, which I think was the best way to go. Especially if you want like a long running narrative, like the Saturday morning cartoon was just a better thing to adapt from at the time. And someone in the comments of this one said that he thinks that the IDW comic is lame because the Archie comic had like consequences and stuff. People died in it. Well, I would point out that by the 45th issue, nobody had really died on screen in the Archie comic. The first character that had an on-panel death was Dr. Robotnik, the original Robotnik, who was destroyed by the Ultimate Annihilator in issue 50. He was really the first on-screen death that actually stuck in the comic. So yeah, that's aside from robots getting destroyed, that's really kind of how it goes. So yeah, the IDW comic simply hasn't run for as long as the Archie comic has before it had its first character death. And you got to remember, like I said, with the much more consistent tone and more faithfulness to the game universe, like, death just really isn't a thing that factors in too much. I mean, when has a character in the video game franchise actually died? I mean, there's Maria and Gerald Robotnik from Sonic Adventure 2, and okay, maybe the Knuckles clan from Sonic Adventure? Huh. Well, it's like every character death I can think of comes from the adventure games. Yeah, like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 were the only ones that actually featured character death, and like they were in the distant past. None of the main cast has ever died in any of the video games, so why would you expect them to die in the comic? And since when is death even used as a metric for your writing quality? Any 5-year-old can write a story where a character dies. I mean, in Itchy and Scratchy, Scratchy dies at the end of every episode in an Itchy and Scratchy cartoon on The Simpsons. That doesn't mean anything. In order for a death to be meaningful, you have to have some investment in the character, and it has to have some meaning in the greater story. That's why the death of the original Robotnik was so meaningful. It set the stage for the coming of the even more dangerous Robo-Robotnik in issue 75, and consequences were felt for a long time from that. And anyway, I spent too much time on the first post. Let's move on. Back to Cool Gamma, who took my advice and took a better picture of his custom. And this is what I'm talking about. It looks much better. In fact, this way you can tell that the character has a cybernetic right arm, which really wasn't all that clear from the previous picture. You see what you can do when you take a picture of a character that isn't too busy? Although in higher resolution it's still a bit fuzzy, and it turns out that he's taking a picture with a camera that doesn't have a flash. And I'm wondering, how is that a thing? Is he using a webcam to take these pictures? Because I honestly can't think of a camera that doesn't have a flash, unless it's a webcam. So another piece of advice, if you don't have a flash for your camera, then natural light. Try to take the picture with sunlight hitting your image, because even on a relatively cloudy day, it's going to be more than 100 times brighter outside than it is going to be inside, even with a 100-watt bulb. So either you're going to have to hold a very bright light bulb really close to your subject matter, or just take the picture with sunlight as your illumination source. Or you know what, just buy yourself a new camera with a flash. I mean, in this day and age where everybody has smartphones and people tend to forget that cameras are actually a thing, you can probably get yourself a really nice digital camera with a flash and much better picture settings, relatively cheap. I'm just saying, you have options. But yeah, your figure looks a lot better, but a better camera will give you better picture quality. Then someone posted up another poll if I should make an Omelette Robotnik figure in the Jakks Pacific scale, and maybe. Even votes on the yes or the no. I mean, if there's interest in making Omelette Robotnik, that cute little internet meme that went around the Twitter sphere when somebody noticed that an upside-down Dr. Eggman kind of looked like a little girl with big hair. I mean, maybe I'll make one of her in the Jakks Pacific scale if there's a significant amount of interest. So yeah, let's just throw that there. And this seems to be just the day of voting and polls on my Reddit thread. Somebody actually posted, I'm gonna make people mad by saying this, but I hate the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Saturday morning is better to me. The reason why I hate Adventures of Sonic is because of Robotnik. I actually hate him in that cartoon, but not the Sad AM. He is a true villain in Sad AM. And, well, I consider this to be a false dichotomy. You're looking at two Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons, which came out at the same time, made by the same studio, with Sonic voiced by the same actor, and you're trying to tell me which one is better. But the thing is, they aren't trying to be one or the other. I mean, one of them was a comedy show which was episodic. You could watch any of the episodes. There was really no overall continuity. Well, there was a little bit, but not so much that you couldn't enjoy a single episode by itself. And they basically made a single 60-episode season to air in syndication. The other had more of a storyline that lasted for the entire length of the series, and had an overarching plot and more serious storytelling to be told over fewer episodes. It ran for 2 seasons, but each season only had 13 episodes for a 26-episode run overall. So funnily enough, even though it was on air longer, 2 seasons instead of only 1, it has fewer episodes. But even with those fewer episodes, it tells a more detailed story with more development. And that's not an inherently superior storytelling technique. It's a different one. This is this is like Batman the Animated Series or Gargoyles, as opposed to, say, Animaniacs or like I don't know, Goof Troop, like one of those, like that, like that's what it is. It's like Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go. No, you know what? I don't want to use that comparison. Naruto versus Rock Lee and his ninja pals. You can't compare a comedy to an action show, and like it depends on what you like. If you like action better than comedy, of course you're gonna like the Saturday morning cartoon better. If you actually just like cartoony comedy action, then you're probably gonna like the Adventures cartoon a lot more. So yeah, guys, don't fight over this. This is a thing that, now, I know a lot of people are saying, "Hey, Wake Angel, but you're saying all this in defense of the Adventures cartoon, but you're so vehemently hated Teen Titans Go that you didn't even want to use them as an example." Teen Titans Go is different in that it is directly piggybacking on the popularity of another show and hoping to appeal to nostalgia, while putting in the bare minimum of effort in writing and animation, and outright insulting the audience that viewed it. Like, people that, like, the Saturday morning cartoon never went out of its way to insult its viewers for, like, why are you watching this stupid cartoon about this blue hedgehog fighting a chicken robot? What are you, a bunch of idiots? The Adventures cartoon never did that. Like, it expected to entertain you, and it was hoping that you would like what it was doing. It didn't directly respond to its fan base by insulting the people that had liked previous iterations of the characters. So no, there is no best. They are both fine cartoons for what they were trying to do. They both accomplished what they wanted. Up next, we got some toy gore. Apparently, Slim Cognito had a Blaze the Cat action figure bought from Toys R Us years ago, and finally unboxed it, only for her to come apart. Okay, so apparently, there's been some follow-up. The lower torso has been found, but it keeps on popping off. Okay, my Blaze didn't really have this problem, but a lot of the Blazes that I worked with did. I think this is in the later runs. My theory is that the blister bubble that the Blazes were packed in put tension on the figure and pulled it apart, such that when you take it out, they come apart easily because the blister just was putting too much strain on her waist. It also doesn't help that Blaze the Cat has one of the smallest waist pegs of any of the Jazzwares figures. If you want to fix this permanently, you can use some crazy glue and paint it around the peg to make it a little bit thicker. Allow it to dry and then put them back together. That should hold them together a little bit better. Someone in the comments said that they just cut a really thin sliver of craft foam and stuffed it in there to add more friction. That works fine too. But yeah, this is just an issue that the Blaze figure sometimes has. It comes apart in the middle. It's not broken. It's just that the peg isn't the strongest. I know this is going to be a really hard pill for some people to swallow, because this set is very difficult to find, and I'm pretty sure if you want a Jazzwares Blaze figure nowadays, you're going to have to fork over $100, unless you get extremely lucky on an eBay auction, buying something that might be a bootleg, but you don't really know. But yeah, just be careful with your Blazes, and remember that there's ways to fix this. You can mitigate the problem, is what I'm trying to get at. And then there's this. For some reason, this image was removed from the thread. I'm happy I saved it as soon as it was uploaded, because this is amazing artwork. It's another potential redesign of Demon the Cat, which just seems to be worked out in this artist's style, and it looks freaking amazing. This is so cool. But why was the image removed? I've never flagged or removed anything that's been posted on my Reddit thread. So like either like the Reddit moderators removed it for some reason, or the poster took it down. But why would you do that? This picture is so great. It's amazing. And they even uploaded the blank line art. So I don't know, in case anybody wants to try recoloring it. But like they can't, because they can't save the image on their own anymore because it's been removed. Why? My posters, please don't remove your artwork from my Reddit thread. It's amazing there, and I love and cherish every single post. Please don't go removing your stuff. So yeah, let's move on. Okay, another one. Hey, Wakeangel, could you make a demise from Zelda with the 80 years Hulk figure as the base? Probably. I could probably do that. They are both big, buff guys with fingers and toes. Yeah, I could probably do this. The hardest part would probably be shaving the figure, because Demise doesn't really seem to have much facial hair. Does he? It's kind of hard to tell. Is he supposed to have like an evil goatee, or is that just the markings on his skin? Kind of hard to tell. But yeah, I mean, he's just a big buff dude. The hardest part would be painting that scale pattern on. Like, that would be a big headache. But in terms of like the sculpt of the base figure, yeah, like these are totally compatible bases. I could probably pull this off. I mean, if someone was interested. I mean, yeah, I guess. Not a big deal. And Apollo the Destroyer. Oh my god. Why? What, have you not learned anything from what I've been telling about toy photography? Oh, he's holding it in his bare hand. The back, it's like the camera isn't focused on anything. Did he even hold the camera still? It doesn't even matter if the camera was on a tripod. You're holding it in your bare hand. There's no way you'd be able to hold your subject still enough for that. Oh, this hurts me. Oh no. Like, I can see from the small hand that this is apparently a kid, but dude, I can see, like, you seem to have, like, some kind of blue thing going on. Like, he seems to have eyeliner and, like, something on his gloves and shoes, but I can't see any details. This photo is so blurry. It hurts. Oh, come on. There's so many ways to take pictures that are a little bit clearer, man. Like, put your figure on a surface so that you don't have to worry about your twitchy human hand holding it still. Like, don't have objects in your background. This looks to be your couch with some pillows on it, like, and your camera does not know what to focus on. And like, use a flash, use the macro setting. Like, oh god, why would you put this picture up? Oh god, the photography, no. Oh, please, like, I can't, like, honestly, like, I'm pretty sure your figure is fine. I'm pretty sure this is a great custom toy. I would love to praise it, but I can't see it. Come on, people, please. Learn. We live in the age of digital cameras where you can take 1,000 pictures to get that nice one. This isn't like back when I was a kid, when everything was on film, where you took you lined your shot up the best you could and you took your photo, then you took it to the developer, you got it back a week later, and then you found out that you had your finger in front of the lens or something. We have evolved. Like, picture taking technology is so advanced, and you can take pictures over and over again. Like please, people, if you're gonna post pictures on my Reddit thread, please take slightly better ones. And that's all the post that was here on my thread this time. Thank you all for watching the video. Hopefully we get some more members and more posts. And this is Wakeangel2001 signing off.